Hello. This is my house. This is made out of earth bags using a technique called hyper adobe. It's made out of vegetable bags, so those bags that you put potatoes in or stuff like that. So they are full of holes and they are filled with earth, and after each layer that you add, you compact, and then you add another layer and another layer and another layer, so on and so forth. And unlike the other one that is called hyper adobe, so it's super adobe and hyper adobe. Unlike super adobe, hyper adobe doesn't use barbed wire. So for those white bags, because the earth from one layer to the earth of another layer are not connected, you have to put barbed wire so the layer doesn't slide. In here, because they are full of holes, the earth from one layer to the earth of the other layer is connected, so it became a monolith wall made out of earth that have from time to time some reinforcement out of those bags.
Okay,
So the entire house is made out of this kind of earth bags, and mostly all the rooms are circles. The reason the house is made out of circles is for because I wanted the house to be partially buried, so the force of the earth doesn't crush the house. And because it's round, it's very hard to deform. But in case, and there are many rooms that are round, and they have one or at most two holes in the walls. But in the case of the biggest room, which is also the entrance in the house, it had too many openings. So a window and a door, another window and another window, and then is the hallway and the entrance to the kitchen. So basically, instead of having one circle with, let's say, one or two holes, it was more or less like a sieve or something like that. And because of that, in the other direction, there are perpendicular walls from the other rooms. Let's call it perpendicular, even though we have circles. But in this case, on this side of the house, there was too little wall. So we made these buttresses in order to have a stiff enough wall that will be able to hold the weight of the roof. All the roofs are reciprocal roofs. I'll show you inside the house. And even though in here it's a little dirty because of the cats, it's plastered with clay, and depending on who was at that point the volunteer, some build it, this is an acorn in here, and some other volunteers made some water animals. And when we plastered the facade, I had a team in here that all leave their footprint. They're not footprint. Handprint. But we also have a footprint because this is the team, and this is a family. This was the father, and this is the dog, and this was his child. So now I finished also to put these steps, because unfortunately the roof doesn't go out enough, so it rains on this buttress. So I made these 3 steps, and now that these 3 steps are finished, I can finish some little details of plastering, and I can lime wash everything again to have a clean wall and not be patched all over the place.
And here, why?
And in the same method that I used for the house, in the same way I used the earth bags for making this wall that keeps the hill and creates in here a courtyard, let's call it that. Normally during the summer all this wall is green, but now it's just early spring, so the the grass on the wall that didn't have time to grow. But you can see what will happen in here, because in here I planted it and it's much more full. So this is how it will look all the wall for entire. But this is a wild grass, that is a planted grass, so this is why that was much greener now.
So lush.
Exactly. Then this one that it's a harsher plant that takes a little bit more to start. So let's come inside and I will show you the house. Okay, so each room, because it's round, I choose to have a reciprocal roof, and each reciprocal roof has a big window in the middle, and it's made out of round wooden beams. The same round windows, it's also on top of the kitchen and also on top of the 2 bedrooms. Okay, in here there is a rocket stove that heats this room, and it's probably something bad that I did in the design or something in the dimension of the rocket stove, but it will be repaired. And when the rocket stove will be, let's say, updated, it has in the back a handle that you can choose to either let the air go through the bench and throughout that chimney, or through the floor, hit those 2 rooms, and then up to that chimney and to another chimney there. Now you can hear maybe you can hear it, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the inverter from the solar panels that have on the height of this beam have there 2 batteries. Up there it's a place for somebody to sleep, volunteers or somebody, I don't know. Sometimes my mother sleeps there. Me, I'm just sleeping on the bench, it's good enough for me. In here I have a huge kitchen that will have it's called mosaic. I don't know how it is called. That thing that you make out of small pieces of ceramic, and you make some sort of mosaic, of drawings and stuff like that. So we'll have a mosaic countertop, and we'll have doors in front of all these spaces and shelves in there. And here it is a stove. In here it's a cooktop, and in here it's a small cooking stove that has its own chimney. What else? What else? I don't know. In here is some decoration made by some volunteer. This last year, she was a German girl that lived for a very long time on the sea. So this is why she had this nail, and I don't know. This is supposed to be a candle. Probably because she was looking for some warmth in her life, and that is a bird because probably she was searching for somebody that she can speak with and some beauty in her life, the flower. I don't know. Who knows what were her reasons? Okay, in here there is a tree. So I had in there is a connection box or whatever, but for some reason I didn't want to make a hole in the wall like it is in here. So in here the wires go through the wall so you cannot see them, but in here I choose not to do that. So one of these the trunk and one of these branches has the wires that go to the connection box. And also the same here where we have some plugs for charging the phone and whatever. But when you have a lot of time, you can not be in a hurry and just enjoy yourself by making a tree on the wall because you can. Okay.
You can just continue to do it if you
Yes, I will. I will. In here there are 2 bedrooms. None of them are finished at this point. This will be for 2 people, like one on the right, one on the left. And I just finished plastering the walls. And if you can see on the floor, this is when I'm going to make the rocket stove in the main room functional. That is just temporary here, this stove. That is supposed to be the heating in the room. So basically the heat comes from the rocket stove in the other room, goes through the floor, come there, takes a round, goes that way, and goes through the wall and goes out through the chimney that was in the other room. And the same thing happens in the other room. This is why it's this brick floor on both of these rooms. In here I just started plastering, so this is why it's not the walls are not either finished nor the floor it's covered.
What was that?
Oh,
That was a fan?
this is a dehumidifier.
Okay.
Yes. Because I'm plastering and I'm putting a lot of water, so I prefer to take it out in a bucket than to let it stay inside the house for a very long time. So you can see here, like, this is how the wall looked like before and how this will look like after plastering. And I'm not the greatest plasterer, so I still have to do some finishing afterward. Okay, on top of in there, under the roof, there is a lot of space to put a lot of stuff. The idea is not like, yes, now it's very high, but the point is to have it that high because you just store there stuff that you don't need every time. So it's just like, yes, at one point it will be available. Okay, and in here there is a bathroom. There's a sun. Let's see. Can you see the sun? I don't know if you can see the sun.
Yeah, you can.
Around the mirror there is a sun, and there is a cast iron bathtub that has its own legs, so it will be visible when I finish
A bedroom with a view.
refurbishing. And you can look outside. That was very intentional. So the window was not just for lighting, it was for be able to stay in the bathtub and look outside while you take a bath, a hot bath. And in here you make the hot water. And I have the same thing in here with the clay countertops, the clay lime plastered countertop. So there is a wooden structure and plastered with lime and sand, and maybe it will get some mosaic like in the kitchen. Maybe it will not get, but it is made out of 2 branches that I managed to connect. And in here it's a very weird toilet because there are two spaces, but they are not for 2 people. So
why not?
Because it can be used by 2 people at the same time, but that's not the point. The point is that is for number 1 because it has a pipe that goes outside, and that is for number 2.
Okay.
That is a compost toilet that you can add wood ash on top of it, because usually.
And that is for the dog?
What?
The third one.
No. That is the wood ash.
Oh, okay.
So that's the wood ash that you put on top of number 2. So it doesn't melt. So the idea is that if you let let's say the urine on top of the poop, then it's when you get the bad smell. But if they are like separated, the number 1 goes out on a pipe, and I don't have anything on the same pipe with the water from the sink, and that I take it with a bucket and I put it in the compost pile, and that's it. And I'm fine with it. It doesn't smell, so I'm more than happy with.
You have a washing machine.
I have a washing machine, but usually I'm a very lazy guy, and I don't use it because I have the choice not to do it. But people that came here, that usually volunteers or my mother or people that visit me usually use it. But for me, it's like no, I don't have time for this. It takes me too much time, and I don't like it. So I'm the nice guy that bought it, but I didn't use it.
Okay.
There is on the other side something else also. It says in French, tronçonneuse, which in English means chainsaw, and was written on the barrel by a French girl that didn't feel like very comfortable with the gender roles that was put upon her, like being a mother and cooking and washing and cleaning and stuff like that. So it was a few winters back, and when she visited me, she asked me if she can use the chainsaw to cut wood for heating the house. I said, well, if this is what you would like to do, you can do it. I don't have a problem with that. And she was so happy that she was treated like anybody else, like oh no, this is not something for women to do or whatever. No, I thought that if that makes her happy, I don't have anything against that. And she was so happy. She ate a lot of chocolate, but this was better. Cutting wood for her was better than chocolate, and she liked a lot of chocolate. So this is why she felt like leaving me this. And she sent me once a postcard by post, and one of her friends sent me recently, a French guy sent me a message that said, well, I would like to be volunteer with you. I said, okay, very nice. And then he added, well, I know about you from Zoe. She's called that French girl that came to you, blah, 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 blah. I said, oh, very nice. So I left a good impact on her. So I'm very happy that it's still written on my
of course,
my stove barrel.
The house is full of stories.
Exactly, that is the point.